Want great pay and lots of perks? Get a $1,500 sign-on bonus when you join the Verizon retail team in the San Francisco Bay Area now. Help connect customers with the perfect products every time. Apply at verizon.com/retail-jobs. Verizon is an equal opportunity employer.
No one is going to listen to this, guys. Guys, no one is going to listen to this.
I don't even want to hear
People are going to shut this off. Like fucking 3 minutes in. I have no idea why we're even doing this.
It is going to be a 22-minute episode, I'm sure, by the time we're done with the edit.
All this is the worst thing I've said, and then the worst thing 4 other people I know have said. That's all this is.
God-awful movies.
Welcome back to the GAMcast, where each week we sample another selection from Christian cinema in an effort to find the worst one, at which we may have just done. I'm your host, Noah Lugeons, and sitting to my immediate left is my good friend Heath Enwright. Heath, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
And sitting 989 miles to my right, doubtless in frisbeeing distance from a pizza place better than any Chicago has to offer, is my bad friend Eli Bosnick.
What the fuck?
Eli, fuck you for making me watch this movie, bro. Just deeply, for the rest of our lives, you will never repay me for this shit.
That was for Adnan.
That was for not liking Star Wars, I guess. And, of course, you've already heard him, but sitting 11 degrees of longitude to my north are our special guest masochists, Tom and Cecil of the Cognitive Dissonance Podcast. Tom, Cecil, welcome to the show.
Home of the best pizza in the world, Chicago, by the way.
Oh,
yeah.
Pizza in the
Right.
Have
world.
you ever said, man, I want to try and fit an entire lasagna in my mouth and head on down to Chicago? It's like a soup made out of pizza.
Well, here's the thing. I've never met you, but I guarantee you can fit an entire fucking lasagna in your mouth.
That's not fair. You've been on xnxx.com. Everyone who's Googled my name knows what I can fit in my mouth.
Here's the thing. I don't even understand a world where fitting an entire lasagna into your mouth is a bad thing. Like, can we use insults, please? We're friends here.
Yeah, guys. Can we get it roasty in here? All right,
Come on, now. That's how I choose my girlfriend. So,
when do we get to fuck a secular student? That's what I'm We should collectively get to fuck one secular
I
student.
mean, 12 grand in 2 hours.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
I wouldn't have even raised money. I misread it. I thought it was the Sexier Student Alliance.
Exactly. When I was in college, you got to have sex with an atheist girl for enough pizza. And now, 12 grand? We should get to have sex with every secular student, male, female, whatever. Just diving our way through Poon for the next year, until next year.
For that amount of money.
Normally, when the intro gets this derailed, I try to get back on track. But considering the movie we've got ahead of us, I'm just so hesitant to say anything. But before we get to talking to that, we gotta, tell them what we're talking about. So, Heath, what are we going to be watching today?
All right. We watched a movie called Loving the Bad Man.
Yes, we did.
Starts out as your typical romantic comedy about a woman who's not a sexual assault victim, but then her status on that changes, and get an interesting moral commentary on that issue. So I don't want to spoil it, so I won't say whether the movie lands on the pro-rapist or anti-rapist side. But the movie takes one of those two stances. One of those two stances. Yeah, we'll get there. But honestly, Eli, I'm surprised you were even able to find this one. Generally, you don't even hear about these movies about like 2/3 of the time. So
yeah, exactly. Actually, according to the Department of Justice, you hear about this only 1 out of 52 times. So I just want to be sorry. I was just reading some emails I got from the Cog Dis audience.
So, Eli, tell us, how bad was this movie, dude?
This movie was like someone from The Purge finished raping and murdering a family, but then he grabbed their camcorder and made a movie to prove that what he had done was okay. That's the only way to... If everyone in this movie was at knife point and got raped in between takes, it makes sense. But because I'm assuming they didn't, I didn't hear anything like that happening to Stephen Baldwin in the news. So...
That's because his
God.
fucking face was too fucking puffy. They couldn't recognize the guy. The guy had clearly gone into anaphylactic shock moments before filming. It's like he got stung by 100 bees.
My friend, I just got stung by bees. Perhaps I should go to the hospital. No, Steve, you're fine. We're going to draw other 8s on your face. Don't worry. We'll just draw some more 8s on your face.
Cover it up.
What the fuck was with the... Wait, we gotta... I know we're way ahead of ourselves, and I don't even care at all, but what is with the 8s? I looked up the 8s. Is there a thing
that's
for
actually,
idiots?
yeah, I don't want to get into why I know this, but that's actually stands for Heil Hitler, 8 being the 8th letter of the alphabet, like H, yeah, Heil Hitler.
I was convinced he was just a Des Bryant fan.
Dude,
That's
they look
so
like
much worse.
They look like shitty padlocks or like kettlebells or something. They were like the fucking weirdest dumpy-sided 8s, and they were like, he looked fucking crazy as hell in that movie. And he's like walking around trying to be like a mob leader in the prison or what have you.
I thought it was an infinity sign, and that represented how many calories he got each meal.
I don't know if you guys have had the bread bowls from Domino's Pizza, but I've eaten 4 during this sentence, and let me tell you, I've earned these infinity signs on my face. You guys ever see Usual Suspects? I was the worst.
I was thin.
Oh, God.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no. Boy, has he fallen far. Well, obviously, we're all chomping at the bit to get this over with, so we're going to pause for a quick break, but when we come back, we'll break down all the disturbing assertions that are loving the bad man.
Motherhood. Is there anything more rewarding? But with the dating scene what it is nowadays, it's hard to meet the right person. Tinder hookups? No thank you. Okay, Cupid? More like okay, stupid. That's why there's a new app for Christian women who think cum is magic. Raper.
I always had problems meeting the right girl, but thanks to Raper, I've experienced the miracle of fatherhood without all the hassle.
Hey, I said the visiting hours are over.
I'm making a commercial. God. Thanks, Raper.
Raper. Because if all you are is a baby factory, who the fuck cares who starts the production line?
And we're back for the breakdown, and I want to say this is one of those movies where you can tell how bad it's going to be even before you get through the production logos. Like, by then, we had already gotten bad graphics and racism.
Yeah. They had, like, the Redskins logo.
Yeah, and the drums in the back.
I forgot about that.
I gotta say, the first thing I wrote down, how do you start a rape movie? And the answer is however you want. However
Right, it doesn't matter.
want.
Cartoon skateboarder logo, that's
Right.
how you start it off.
Oh, I'll tell you how you started. You started exactly like a fucking teen comedy. I was like, oh no, I accidentally clicked on 10 things I hate about you. No, you didn't. Summer, fresh grass, and rape. That's what this movie's going to start with.
10 things I raped about you.
There you go.
It's only so many holes. And again, this movie begins with wacky dad antics.
I know.
This
It
movie
totally
about
does.
rape is him being like, the sprinklers are just... There's about to, in 17 minutes, there's going to be a sexual assault.
Right.
But this movie wants us to be like, well, that dad is just never going to get his lawn wet. You know what I'm talking about. Get her.
That's the
rape
only
her
thing
hard.
that doesn't get wet.
Throughout the entire movie, they keep doing that shit. They keep having these, like, just horribly... and there's no appropriate comic moments in the rape movie, but they find the worst fucking spots for them and just go, hey, guys, remember this wacky dude? Remember him from earlier?
Kramer
They might
flies
as well have
in.
introduced Scooby and the gang to this movie. That's how inappropriate the comedy
And
is.
I would have got away with that rape if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
Instead of pulling the mask off, it's a rubber. Oh, Jesus. Let's see whose dick is under here. Whoa.
It was Old Man Jenkins.
I've seen that one. I got that one bookmarked.
I've got that
the old,
video.
The old
Yeah.
Man Jenkins one. I like that one.
Yeah, exactly. That's my Tumblr, guys. Old Man Jenkins Tumblr.
Wait, Chunks fucks that teen. I love that one. That's good.
That's why the van in the mystery machine has no windows. You know? And I'll tell you this. It's a lot of things, but it ain't a mystery.
I'll tell you what, I let Scoop get in a couple rounds.
You know.
I'm just saying Daphne looks scared. Right? She doesn't look like she wants to be there.
Velma, on the other hand, Velma's into that shit.
We should have just done a Scooby-Doo episode. You guys want to do this again, but just do a Scooby-Doo episode instead?
Yeah, well, everybody in this fucking movie too. Can we talk about fucking how everybody is goddamn sweaty? Like every single human in this movie is fucking sweaty. Even the fucking baby is sweaty. Like it's like they're from some fucking hell, like godforsaken hellhole, like Georgia or something.
Right? Oh, I mean, just get crazy
about it.
Yeah.
This movie is shot like, so the camera looks like, and the actors look like it was shot in a sauna. Yeah, like their lenses are like their cameraman fainted. And just like, it's fine. The camera,
like their cameraman is in the process of fainting as he's filming.
Oh,
Jesus!
God.
I was 5 minutes into this movie. I'm like, I'm going to buy that motherfucker a tripod and hand deliver it to him. And then 10 minutes in, I'm like, I'm going to beat him to death with it when I get there. That's what it is. I'm going to buy a tripod and just beat him to death and leave it cleaved between his fucking skull at the crime scene, so they'll know exactly why I did it.
And every single goddamn image is so flat. There's no depth in this movie at all. It's like filmed with like a handy cam.
I feel like that's an analogy for the whole movie, though. There's no depth in this whole film.
There was a little depth in the rape scene, though.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know. He's a small guy. You never know.
So
only a little. She's Christian.
So.
Now, you're
Bottom
a
out right
secular
away.
student, and I hate to promote it, but that's a nice
you need to
deep...
repel into there, you know? Damn, you got a big pussy. Damn, you got a big pussy.
Wow. And we're not even through the first scene, guys. We're not even really to the first scene here.
Brother,
so.
I am through with the first scene.
Yeah, right.
This movie's not as funny as we're making it out to be.
No!
I just want to throw it out there.
It starts with wacky comedy where we meet the dad and the daughter, Julie, who is smoking fucking hot. Oh, that's hard to ignore. I liked Eli's subtitle on the notes on this one was episode 19, Trying Not to Jerk Off.
Yeah, I didn't. Hold on. I didn't have a hard time masturbating to this movie at all. And then I watched this with my wife. So it's
oh no, my subtitle was trying not to jerk off,
exactly.
not trying to jerk off, my friend. Trying not to jerk off, letting the raw, shaved bit of flesh that used to be my penis alone for a moment, so I could type a note so that I could do the show.
She's only hot in like that bland cardigan way that means you're not actually getting laid, though. You know what I mean?
Jerking off right now.
She's hot.
You got the cardigan and I can't.
she's like fucking Blair from that old like fucking what was that show?
Facts of Life.
Facts of Life. She's like Blair hot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as soon as I see like a young girl who should be smoking hot and she's wearing a cardigan, I'm like, oh, you're already dressing like you're my grandma.
Yeah, right.
I'll still finish.
Yeah, she was a grandma waiting to happen throughout this movie. So then we go inside from the sprinkler accident where we meet the whole family here. They're sitting down to Kuro Kobayashi's breakfast, apparently. They've got a goddamn half-gallon of milk sitting there and a pitcher of milk. What?
Every meal in this thing is like a repast for a king. The fucking salad bowl was as large as my condo.
Right.
They have the fucking the same food guy as Game of Thrones.
Apparently. And I gotta say, I
Bring
could
me a
spend
whole
an
goose.
hour. I could spend an hour on each individual character at this table. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
Okay, the person who really caught me is the Mexican brother.
Yes.
Who is a very
Clearly not the same dad.
If we had seen a fucking shot of
rape
him
baby
climbing
too.
over a fence into their living room, I would have been less. He would be less Mexican.
It would have been awesome if the dad deported him in the middle of the movie.
He's clearly an irrational, angry man. Like the dad is just fucking furious the whole time. He's like, "Fucking sprinklers! I can't fix your car. My son's got a job doing it." He's so mad. He's like fucking angry dad from The Simpsons. It's like outrageous.
Right. And also, was it just me or did mom look like she was like raped into being in this movie?
Oh, no question. The Taliban has made videos with more willing participants than they're treating me very well here on the set of Loving the Bad Man. Unlike how they treat American soldiers in the, I don't know.
Serial.
Here's
Episode
today's
3,
newspaper.
season 3.
This is for real.
Exactly.
And of course, now we have to go meet I don't even know where you would place antagonists and protagonists in this movie, so we're just going to say the rapist.
Sure.
Who's not necessarily the antagonist in this movie.
Right! Yes, exactly. The physically abusive sexual assault perpetrator is kind of the, I don't know.
Spoiler alert, but yeah. It's not.
So we learn very quickly he comes from the wrong side of the tracks. And the way we know this is that he's a mechanic.
Yeah,
Has there ever been a mechanic in a movie that isn't, is that it? Is that it? When you're bad, you don't mind getting dirty?
Look, here's the thing. If you've got dirt under your fingernails, you're probably a rapist. That's all that means. Like, in the movies, you're just like walking around, you're like, yeah, I got these callousy fucking dirty hands. Like, you can play the mechanic rapist. Okay, go over there. You're in the mechanic rapist line. Go in the line. There's a bunch of guys over there. Fix something while you're waiting.
Also, he works at a yelling garage because everyone comes, hey man, you need to fix that. Oh, fuck you. I'll fix it when I fuck your mother. I wanted so badly for them to cut to the front and some woman's like, you need to fix my fucking tires. Great. That'll be $23.99. Fantastic. Can I give you a 5-star Yelp review? You fucking better.
and then he punches that bitch right in the face. Just pull.
That guy admittedly has a unique managerial technique. I will admit that. Because the dude, like the fucking rapist dude, is actually quite calm in the beginning. He's like, the fucking parts came late. The guy's just like, I don't fucking care. You stole all my tools. I hate your family. And it's like, what is happening? Why is he getting
playing it like the wrestler who's like talking shit in the pre-fucking show about the other wrestler?
You hear me now, brother.
WrestleMania, Nassau Coliseum, August 3rd.
So now we got to cut over to Julie at work at her cashier job, and we see immediately she's wearing a giant "Got Jesus" button at work.
Right, and this is the first of many times in this movie that I thought to myself, well, if someone in this movie is going to get raped, the person with the "Got Jesus" button, I'm okay with it.
I don't necessarily want any one person to get raped or anything, but yeah, if it's got to be oh my God. So yeah, this woman, by the way, throughout the movie cannot speak 8 words without, like, proselytizing, even to the Christians in this movie.
Right.
Ridiculous. As a matter of fact, we see that right away because we see a kid is stealing some Pop-Tarts, and the boss is physically assaulting him.
I know why he's just shaking the shit
Who
out of
steals
him.
Pop-Tarts? I can't give Pop-Tarts away to people.
He fucking stabs him in the neck with a fucking box cutter, and he's like, Tommy, I'm going to wear you like a suit.
He's going to string that kid up. He's going to, like, draw and quarter him. He calls him a little turd at one point.
They use turd like 100 times. They use turd. I was going to count it at the end. I was like, man, I want to go back and watch this, but I'd rather be raped. But I thought they use turd so many times because they won't swear because it's a fucking
that's
Christian
the
movie,
dirtiest thing they can say.
So
exactly.
It's like, you're a stinking turd. And see, so I thought the same thing. The kid's stealing Pop-Tarts. I'm like, what is stealing poverty strudel? What the fuck is this? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that.
But Julie steps in and tells him that she said he could do it on the condition that he joins her religion.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yes. Yes. She's like, okay, but you have to go to church with me tomorrow. Like, what?
And he's like, I have to ask my parents, stranger. And she's like, well, if your mom says yes, you have to join my religion, okay? And the kid's like, I don't understand this. And she's like, I know, that's how we get you.
And that's actually pretty great because that's how prison works too, right? It's like, oh, you weren't religious? Welcome to prison. Now you're Christian. Okay, fine. You're rehabilitated. You're out.
You're a black guy. No, you're going to be Muslim. Sorry. Yeah. we get him switched.
So now we cut back over to Mike the rapist, the pre-rapist, I should say.
Pre-rapist?
He's a pre-rapist up to this
moment.
pre-rapist
powder?
But
he's all hopped up on pre-rapist powder.
But he's not going to be a pre-physical assaultist for much longer.
Right.
Because the first real action that we see this character that we're supposed to sympathize with throughout this movie take is to call his boss out into the office and beat the living fuck out of him like 8 feet away from a 10-year-old kid.
I love that the kid's like, what's going on out there? Like, I probably just get in my car. It's clearly the sounds of fists pounding on
Oh, please, I am being assaulted. What do you think's happening, Dad? I don't know. They're just working on some salt.
Probably like the differential or something. I don't know. Car words, son. I don't car words.
Also, I want to point out, he is covered in grease like he murdered a character from Cars. This character, I know several mechanics. I have 4 mechanics in my family, and they never come home from work in blackface. What were you doing? Well, I changed the oil by rubbing up against it real slow.
I use it as a personal lubricant as well. It's good for so many uses. You don't believe how much friction this shit can stand.
Julie's a lucky girl. Wouldn't have been a rape if he hadn't slipped so easily in.
God. Click. I'm turning this off.
Right? I don't want to be associated with this episode anymore. I'll be outside having a smoke.
Yeah, so this dude looks like he got gang raped by an angry mob of chimney sweeps. And,
Yeah.
Chimney.
Raping you.
You got to do it more threatening. Chimney.
Yeah, you have to have some electric guitar in the background. Down. Because bad people are on camera now. Down. And speaking of people whose physical appearances we can make fun of, we also meet Cole.
Cole looks like the husband in every big black cock cuckold porn you've ever watched. That's what Cole looks like in this movie. I just want you to picture someone watching their wife get fucked. That's Cole. You just pictured Cole. Isn't that fun?
Even more than that, he's just like at the end, he's meekly like, okay, good job. Good job. Good job. This is a guy who could not successfully microwave a burrito.
Did everyone have fun?
It literally, I watched him and I was fucking texting with a friend of mine that I convinced through, I think, magic to watch this with me. And I was like, oh, here comes friend zone. Like, that's it. Like, that's it. It's like fucking bro walks in. It's like, you couldn't fuck that guy. That guy couldn't fuck anybody. That guy's so fucking mouse-ish. Yeah. That guy, his fucking hand would say no. Right. His hand would be like, well, maybe we could just, like, Netflix without the chill, you know? Like,
okay, I understand. I bought you flowers. You're the best friend in the world. All right hand.
Yeah, right. Okay. Well, and it also doesn't help that he looks like they gave the guy from Mask most of a face transplant. His eyes don't line up or anything. His eye. So
now it didn't line up though. No, Noah's right though. He's right.
No, it was just like one was a little high, one was a little low. So the guy just looked off as fuck to me constantly.
He looks like the only male survivor of an acid attack.
He looked like Shannon's already had a kid.
Yo, I wanted to fight that guy. I was watching this. I'm like, can I just get in and just fight him? Just for no reason? He just looks fun to hit.
He looks like Carrot Top raped the Wendy's girl.
And of course, she decided to have the baby and fall in love with her. And her way of saying no, if she's not interested, by the way, is burying our nose in the Bible. There would be no more effective way for me to just, okay, never mind.
You can put your nose where you want to put your fucking nose. That's not what I'm looking to hit.
And then she gives him the silent treatment. She ices him out, and he's like, so, you want to go out? My penis got stuck in my zipper, but I'm afraid to undo it because I might get devil's touch. So she's like, yeah, I'm not going out with you. And then she just gives him the fucking silent treatment. And he's like, well, I'm going to go lower myself onto this burrito.
It's warmed up just the way I like it.
Think about my pastor from youth camp. So now we go to the bad bar.
Oh, I know, the bad bar.
Okay, hold on.
Nobody can afford a whole shirt.
Hold on, no. I got something to say about the bad bar, because when you walk into the bad bar at one point, the fucking bad bar has a Coke horse in it, right? At one end of the bar. Some wannabe bikers at the other end. There's a guy who's either beat or drunk into unconsciousness on one of the fucking pool tables in there. And then there's a dude at the bar reading a Kindle.
I know.
Like, what the fuck is a guy in there reading a Kindle? And the only way I can reconcile that guy in the pool table, like fucking completely either unconscious or in this case, I think he probably had a conversation with the tablet guy and died of boredom. That's what I think happened.
Well, the barkeep keeps walking around checking for pulses. Like, that's all he does. Like, these people are fucking overserved in a way that's fucking illegal everywhere but Indiana, right? And like, and he walks over and he's just like, their fucking arms are floppy, their faces are down. He's just like, you need another drink? Can I? Yeah, right. He's super polite. He's super duper polite behind that bar. He's clearly serving fucking methanol.
Hold on. He's the rape facilitator. He's the one who puts this together. He connects A and B.
I'm not sure he did that intentionally.
I hope he did.
Because he was real polite about it. Yeah. I mean, he really was. He's like, you should go. And then that guy that tries to decline, he's like, yeah, I don't want to do free work because I'm off work. And he's like, fucking just do it.
Well, wait, we forget. Right. There's a scene before she comes in where, he is almost in a fight with a guy.
Oh, yeah.
And the guy goes, you're walking a thin line, man. You're walking a thin line. But he's not doing anything. He's just sitting at the bar.
I was expecting him to go like, I'm wanted in 12 systems. Fucking ridiculous, this scene. And we're contrasting that because we keep cutting back and forth between that and the girl driving through down in the bad neighborhood in her car singing Christian music to her radio.
Yeah, Anna, my fiance, got 40 minutes into this movie, and she turned to me and goes, this is a weird music video.
I was counting. I tweeted how many music montages there were. There were 6 music montages.
There are 6 music montages.
Every 15
If you're
minutes.
ever thinking, hey, will any of the Christian songs that are in these montages have anything to do with the action on screen? Nope.
Or be
Quite the
remotely
opposite.
appropriate.
They're selected seemingly at random. The Christian music that was selected for this movie was selected as like, well, we only have like 7 songs, so
right.
use them all. Just whatever.
Sure,
this
Right,
is the
whatever
order. It's on
came
my
up next
playlist.
on Christian Pandora, exactly.
Right.
God, please don't say there's a Christian Pandora.
Dude, the
There is,
soundtrack
yeah.
was a
You
shuffle.
just enter I Just Got Raped into Pandora, and these are the 7 songs that show up over and over again. And Bill Cosby himself.
Although it does beg the question, like, what would your rape soundtrack sound like? You know, I mean, like, sometimes you got to put a little music together for something. Like, you know, I'm thinking about going for a long ride tomorrow. I'm going to put together, like, a long ride soundtrack. Like, oh, I'm going to get fucking raped tomorrow and fall in love with a dude in prison that raped me. What does that soundtrack sound like?
Blurred lines. It's basically all just blurred lines.
It's just all Robin Thicke.
It's just all Robin Thicke. It's just all blurred
I'll
lines.
just play the album start to finish. I don't give a fuck.
It's the subway jingle.
Oh, my God.
So now we get like this incredibly insensitive rape scene where like we're getting these weird flashbacks to him beating up his boss because they needed to get to feature length, I guess. And so he goes out there and he's having these traumatic PTSD, I kicked somebody's ass flashbacks, I guess, which is what triggered the rape.
No, I think what triggered the rape is he knew he was going to be put in the friend zone because he was already in the auto zone. And he wanted to make sure, maybe that auto zone's a local thing.
Well, see, great. Well,
Get in
it
his
seems
own
like
AutoZone,
he's
I'm
just going to change her tire and leave, and then she offers to tip him, and he's like,
that's
I have
the-
money.
That's what
I'm
sets
gonna
him
rape
off.
you. And see, this is why I don't tip, because someone gets offended and rapes you. Classic.
I actually rape every waiter. I go in every restaurant.
Well, you raped the restaurant. You raped the buffet. I'll tell you that, Cecil. I thought the same thing. It's like everything is going kind of okay. Like he's having like weird anger moments, but I don't think he was going to attack her. And then she's like, "Here's like $7," and he's just like, "Rah, rapey."
Yeah,
right.
What happened there? Like he just broke this guy.
Well, I had a moment where I was like, what a weird way to like stage a rape. They must not have talked to any rape victims when they made this movie. And then I was like, well, of course they didn't talk to any rape victims, because if they had, that person would have murdered them so that they couldn't have made this fucking movie. You're making a movie. Oh, okay. Here, come here. Just put your head right in the car door and slap it. slap, and slap.
The after the rape is the best scene in the movie, in my opinion. The after rape is my favorite scene of the whole movie.
The swiftest justice in the world.
No, it's the scene. It's the scene where, so after the rape happens, there's this sort of flashback to black and white. They keep going black and white, and then back to, I guess it's like he's turning into a velociraptor, and then on a velociraptor or whatever, black.
Right, yeah.
And then they finally show. The next morning, Dad is in there. He's worried about his sprinkler system or whatever the fuck he's worried about. And then he looks outside, and the daughter's car is there. So he comes in to try to find the daughter, but he can't find the daughter. And then everybody's freaking the fuck out, like running around freaking out. And he goes out to the car, and he walks up to the car that the car is on the lawn. Okay, the car is not in the driveway. It's on the fucking lawn.
Parked in the living room.
Yeah, exactly. And he walks out, and he goes up to the car, and he's like, and it's a fucking abandoned car on the lawn, and he pulls out a giant fuking knife from the car, and he asks his wife, he's like, is this hers? It would have been better if he would have pulled out like her panties and a bloody uterus and been like, is this hers? Did she leave with this yesterday, Margaret? When she went to her fucking Christian band camp? Did she leave with this bloody uterus in her bag?
So the dad yells, call 911, and that scene ends, and then we get her waking up in sepia world, which is where trauma happens.
Right. Exactly.
Traumas.
By the way, CSI rape CSI music montage at this point.
Yeah, and I will say, rape happens in sepia because rape is always a little brown. I'm just saying.
Wow. All right.
not.
So,
I wanted it to be quiet forever. Just 7. Noah, I will give you all the money in the world for 7 minutes of silence. Just take all the silence where we're listening and just like,
So, yeah, that was great. No, I have to point this out. Because before we go into the little post-rape trauma montage, you can hear the dad in the background, and he's going like, "I should have checked the tires."
Oh yeah.
I foreshadowed that, didn't I?
well, he turns to his wife and he goes, "I don't need your mindless mothering right now."
Right.
And it's like, yeah, she needs mothering right now. She just got raped. Everyone in this scene seems like, yeah, don't comfort her too much. It'll make rape seem like a bad thing.
It'll just encourage her to be raped again.
You know how like a little kid falls down and nobody sees and they don't cry? That's what rape's like. A kid face plants and then it sees you in the room and it's like, it's like a...
It's like if you look at her at all with any kind of like quivering lip,
right? It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Pretend it didn't happen.
You got to pound her on the back so that her cries make a weird noise, and that'll get her giggling. That's
Yeah, right. Kegel it off. So,
oh god.
So we get this and this is such a weird. Okay, so this is our second musical montage, and it's such a weird one because it's like the rape kit montage.
Yeah.
Like, why are we
That's
looking
the
at this?
grossest montage.
Where she's like riding around with the cops and showing them where the bar is. Like she can't just tell them the name of the fucking bar. She's got to ride with him. Is this?
Oh yeah, you got to ride in there while your uterus is all bleeding.
Right, exactly.
It'd be like the fucking only because she starts at the hospital, then goes in the police car, and then finishes at the hospital. Right. So clearly she's still in need of actual medical assistance. But like, no, fuck that. In this town, justice moves fucking swift as a motherfucker. We are gonna fucking catch this bitch before you're done bleeding. Get in the goddamn car. But there's only one bar on fucking no service road. I don't give a fuck. We're going to rapies together.
I want them to keep.
What?
I wanted a scene where they just keep driving by the black guy's house. Are you sure it wasn't there? No, that's not. It was a bar. I mean, maybe.
You sure it wasn't a Muslim?
No, it was at the bar that said ladies' night. It was at that bar.
I'm going to circle the block again.
Ladies' night.
So they come and they arrest him for rape. The mom goes, "Don't worry, he can't hurt you or anyone else anymore." And I was like, were they afraid he was coming back for more rape? He's not the Joker. I shall rape your daughter 3 times before midnight past the person. He's not a wizard trying to catch a spell.
It's like fucking rape Pringles. Like, what's your pots?
Stop.
He's got rape OCD. He's like, "I'm sorry, I just got to rape you 2 more times. This is just a thing. I'm the victim here."
There's no way I'm gonna be able to go to sleep if I don't fuck you twice more.
Something I've never said.
No one is going to listen to this, guys. Guys, no one is going to listen to this.
I don't even want to hear
People
it.
are going to shut this off. Like fucking 3 minutes in. I have no idea why we're even doing this.
It is going to be a 22-minute episode, I'm sure, by the time we're done with the edit.
All this is the worst thing I've said, and then the worst thing 4 other people I know have said. That's all this is. And I feel like rocking back and forth in the shower like I've been raped.
I need to get fucking brushed off like Silkwood after this. Like they need to fucking get the elephant brushes and the power washer. Just get me clean.
Guys, this isn't close to the meanest shit I've ever said. This is like a horrible.
Well, you're a horrible person, all right?
What are you, a grease monkey?
Hey. That's our word.
How many young blonde Jesus Krispies have you raped?
Today.
Right, yeah.
4.
So let's move on. We are nowhere near the middle.
Not even.
We haven't even got to Puffy Baldwin.
Yeah,
no one's in
exactly.
jail. No one's anywhere. We're at the beginning of this movie.
All right, so let's move on to where he goes to jail, because this is where we meet Mr. Clean with AIDS. And he's going to be a recurring character. So they put him in the holding cell with this.
Mr. Clean with AIDS. I thought it was Michael Stipe, actually.
I thought it was fucking Crazy Eyes. That guy's
he was trying to push his own eyes out of his own skull with his fucking,
I know, dude. He was
just by flexing. It was amazing.
He was total recalling the whole movie.
Total recalling.
He looks like Heath had a little brother with Downs.
Kind of looked like if Vin Diesel got caught in a war and was held in horrible conditions for like Bo Bergdahl length or something like that, and they let him out.
Maybe he got captured as a Jew.
Yeah, but he's the only guy in the whole movie that could do an entire push-up. You know what I mean? Like, you watch this whole movie, it's all filmed, like, half of this movie takes place in a prison from this point on, and nobody in that movie could fucking do a single push-up without having a fucking aneurysm in the middle of it.
You are very wrong, because there are several delicious Spanish men who we're going to meet in just a few minutes who are very clearly just off the set of a man-on-man porno. So they were like, hey, we are done using this jail set, but if you want us to hang around, we can hang around. I'll stand where all the cum got on the wall. This is very clearly, they shared the set with a gay Latin porno, and they were like, no, guys, hang out. You can be a character in the movie. Or just show
you don't even have to change wardrobe.
Yeah, you
actually.
You don't have to take the cum out of your hair. That's what you people look like to us.
I kind of thought he was going to get raped and then the movie would be over and it would just say, karma, bitch. That would be it.
Even Steven.
You know what? I would have just been like, great. All right. Good movie.
Yeah, that was all right. It depends on how long they stayed on the fucking scene, but yeah. But before we can get to that, we got to move back over to the idyllic little white family having a cookout. And I want to point out the brother, the Mexican brother, does not own sleeves. At no point in this movie is that guy. He could show up at a funeral and he had to cut the fucking sleeves off his suit jacket or something.
Right, with his own techno boombox. Grandma was really beautiful.
Oh, and it's also worth noting that Joey is a DJ and Dad does not approve. That is the only topic of conversation that Dad and Joey ever engage in this movie.
This is the only thing his family ever talks about. And she got raped 30 minutes ago?
Yes!
Time makes no fucking sense in this movie. We don't know how much time has passed in this film, but it's not 9 months. It's not enough for her to show, so they're like, man,
this is the scene where they find out she's pregnant. So
right.
it's
yeah, but hold on. They find out she's pregnant because the doctor calls mom. Right. She's 23 years old.
She finds out.
It'd be like if the fucking doctor called you and was like, Tom's got like 7 AIDS, dude. Like, he's got all the AIDS. We didn't even know he could get more than one. He's got like 7.
Yeah, he got it from a secular student.
You'd have to call me up and be like, I don't even know why they called me. We're not even close. We're not even fucking close. She's 23 years old. What doctor's like, well, anyway, in a small town in America, we just call mom. Because you live. I mean, what? What is she like fucking got Down syndrome? Like she has. Somebody's got to have.
And I'm jerking off
she's
again.
In like a helper house.
Right? Oh, shit. What the fuck? They called mom. They called mom to tell you.
I work at the grocery store.
You can steal those Pop-Tarts if you promise to love Jesus.
I either got raped or I pet a rabbit. I don't even know why.
I love that the rape jokes are not going to be the most offensive shit in this episode. I appreciate you guys making sure that we hit all the bases here.
No one who listened to the first 30 seconds of this episode and then kept listening gets to write me now and be like, I thought the Down syndrome jokes were very offensive.
Oh, this is amazing.
I thought the Down syndrome jokes were super offensive. Glory hole!
You ever tell a joke and you tell it and you're just like, that broke my heart. I feel like I just punched my son in the face. That's how much it hurt.
Oh. That's this whole episode.
Oh shit!
Oh god!
I want you to look me in my internet eyes. No, I don't know what that feels like. I don't know what it feels like to feel anything but good when you say bad things about people.
Oh god! All right, so we're at the barbecue. We're at America's worst barbecue.
Yeah,
We're at the barbecue. I'd rather be at a fucking Jim Jones barbecue. I'd rather be like, where's the fucking Kool-Aid? I'd rather watch my loved ones die around me.
Oh yeah.
Than be at this barbecue.
Yeah, little uncomfortable.
And she is totally fine, by the way. The daughter, Julie, who has just been raped 75 seconds ago, is like, can you pass the hot dogs? I just can't get enough of them in my mouth. I don't know.
I would like 100 Phallic foods. Thanks, Dad!
No, Dad, while I have the hot dog in my mouth, can you just pour the mustard on my face?
Well, then they're having this fucking barbecue, and then mom's like, anyway, you're pregnant, and you should probably abort it because Jesus would understand. Then she has a fucking weird temper tantrum, like she had like a regression moment, like she's 9 years old.
Yeah.
She has a fucking full-on temper tantrum, and fucking out of nowhere, Friend Zone's like, Friend Zone fucking shows up.
hey, how's your pussy?
You're feeling better now?
Wait, before we get to friend zone, popping in like fucking Norm from Cheers, we have to talk about everyone treats this like she's talking about getting a nose ring. She's like, it's my rape, baby, and I'll keep it if I want to. He's like, as long as you live under my roof, young lady, you will kill the child that sits in your womb. You will squish that cum devil out of you.
Like I expect him to pick up the phone and go like, I called Planned Parenthood. I've already got it arranged. They're going to buy the parts, trade me for sprinklers.
Yeah, exactly.
I need this shit.
Carly Fioroni is peeping over this fence, and she's like, they're just, I can see it inside you, kicking and screaming. Meanwhile, her daughter's dead in the living room. She's like, it's okay. I did good. I did my best, and that's all that matters.
So the dad's all pissed, and he's like, what, are you serious? You're going to keep it? And the daughter's like, it's not an it, Dad. It's a baby. You just called it twice. Just throwing it out there. No big deal.
Well, okay, so now Friend Zone shows up. Now, this is where this scene gets truly bizarre. Because the guy sits down that nobody knows but her. She's like, no, I don't want to talk to you. And everybody's like, come in and have bratwurst with us. So he sits down
here,
and she's like,
penis sausage.
Yeah, right.
It's penis sausage and ravioli. That's what we're having.
So Cole says to her, he's like, how you doing? And she's like, well, I'm raped and pregnant. And they're like, so what are you planning on doing? He's like, well, I'm going to do some missionary work. And they talk about the missionary work.
Whoa, wait. Before they say that, the brother, she goes, no, Cole. He goes, oh, I heard you were sick. She goes, no, Cole, I'm pregnant. I was raped. And the brother goes, awkward.
I heard that.
There is no worse time for that. I want a montage. When I get crazy billionaire money, I'm going to create a montage of like Auschwitz where the brother just steps in and he's like, awkward. Like ordinary people. The wrong son died. Awkward. It's just And are we as an audience supposed to laugh at that? Who knows? Because Cole does not react to that. The proper answer to, hey, Cole, I'm pregnant, I was raped, was, oh, I will leave you alone. But Cole's like, so, bratwurst, huh? What do you marinate these in? Because I cannot just get mine time. I'm going to help myself to a delicious hot dog here.
I'm so glad you seized on that, because when he yells awkward, I'm just like, no. Awkward is when you fart and sneeze at the same time. Like, it's not like, anyway, I showed up to an impromptu fucking picnic I wasn't even invited to, but I came around the fucking, like, back door for.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, hey, anyway, I was seeing if anything's going on in your backyard, guys. Anyone been raped recently? Anyone? No? Oh, you. Okay, great.
Finally,
anyway,
I've been going up and down the block. I've been all over this neighborhood. No one has been raped.
Well, so she gets up and leaves, and then he hangs out and just like starts, eating some bratwurst and everything, and then gives him this weird, like, I just want you guys to know that Julie has a beautiful soul, and I fuck her smock in the broom closet, and it always smells good. It's like the creepiest fucking stalkeriest. Like the family would be like, okay, so if you just pause for this restraining order picture, that would be great.
Yeah. Sometimes I just smell her hairbrush. Okay, all right. Anyway,
so I was thinking at this point, I got to admit, I have to admit this freely. I thought for sure at this point that the guy who grabbed her at that point, that he didn't rape her, that this guy did. Like, I seriously thought there was going to be a twist in this movie.
All right.
I totally thought there was going to be like a fucking M. Night Shyamalan in this movie. They were like, oh, it wasn't actually that dude who got put in prison. It was this fucking creepy stock boy who fucking raped her while she was passed out on her lawn.
Here's how you can tell for future reference that that's not true. Anybody with that shitty little fucking mustache in these movies, evil 100% of the time.
True. Fair enough.
If all you can grow is 7 facial hairs and you're like, what if I weave them together across,
This movie got delayed 6 months by that guy having to grow that thing first.
I just wanted to reach out with a Gillette flex ball every fucking scene he was on the goddamn movie. Just rip that little shit out from his under chin. Yeah.
That guy has the mustache of a 16-year-old girl's vagina.
He reminded me of that in many, many ways. So now we get the...
Wait, one thing. Before Cole leaves, he goes, anything I can do to give back? And I wanted so badly for the dad to go, can you unrape our crazy daughter?
Unrape her kid.
It would have been great if you reached under the fucking picnic table and threw him a hanger and said nothing else.
You know what to do. He just tosses him a bottle of pills. Why don't you take her out for a milkshake? Why don't you and Julie go on a date at the top of some stairs? You know what I'm saying, Cole? Be a team player.
Just hit her in the belly with like a rump roast or something where you work.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. Sweep the leg.
Can we turn this off? I don't ever want this to air.
Again, this movie's it's not as funny as you're
No.
Oh, God.
you're thinking
might
based on
listen to
our
this.
analysis so far.
No.
Keep saying that.
Guys, I pay my taxes. I'm a good man. I'm not that good.
Your children will someday listen to this. There's no way your children won't down the line go,
No,
I want to
I
hear
will
what
stuff
Pop
knitting
Pop had
needles
to
into
say.
the ears of my children before I let them listen to this.
They're going to have someone sign it to them.
I will Helen Keller the fuck out of my kids.
Oh, Jesus.
Faked it.
They're going to hear that, too. I love it. All right, so now we finally get to Stephen Baldwin, and holy shit, he's put on a little weight, y'all.
I can't believe the guy from Usual Suspects, Born on the 4th of July, and Sharks of Venice is in
Oh,
this
my
movie.
God, dude.
You know?
Sharks of Venice.
I think his acting exercise was when the camera wasn't on, when everyone ran up and was like, this is a good movie, huh? And he was like, it is a good movie.
Yeah.
We're all doing a really good job. I'm a genius. Like, I feel like he was in this movie to prepare for a movie that never got made about a guy who gets tortured. And so he was like, I need a hellish, like Dennis fucking Hopper what's his name? Dustin Hoffman trying to stay awake for Marathon Man. I feel like he did this movie to like get ready for Abu Ghraib the musical or whatever it was.
I would totally watch that, by the way.
If Stephen Baldwin was
would
not
too.
happy to be in this movie, there is no better way to tell than the fact that he must have ate his way from one way to the craft services table to the other. I am not...
They just see this. He lays at one end and just opens his mouth and waits
Here's
for
what
them
I'm gonna
to
need you to
fucking
do.
drop
Just
tray after
tilt it up,
tray of
just tilt
food
it.
in it.
I need you to take that car jack and put it at one end of that barbecue. And I'm going to need you to keep cranking. No matter what you hear from the bottom of the table, do not look. You will turn into salt like Lot's wife.
I want an entire hose full of custard. That's what I want.
I love that you said acting exercise. This guy hasn't exercised in so long. What, are you kidding me? This is a guy who could get winded stepping over a quarter. This is unbelievable. He shows up, when this guy shows up, first of all, he's clearly the lesser Baldwin. And
He's the lesser
I mean, like, when you're the lesser of the Baldwins.
I think he's dropped below Billy at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He looks like every shit he takes has blood in it.
I fucking love you, bro.
I don't remember
fucking
eating
love
tomato
you.
sauce again.
Did I have beets? No, I'll never eat a beet. I just eat meat every day. That's it.
Oh, my God.
He looks like the fat they cut off Marlon Brando when he died.
Oh, God.
Like they put it in a cauldron with the blood of his enemy and the flesh of a servant, and Stephen Baldwin stepped out and was like, I want to be in a movie about how it's okay to be raped. I guess
Well, you gave him your Donald Trump voice. That's awesome.
Can you cover me in the number 8?
For some fucking reason. Now, we also meet two other key characters here. We meet Manny, who clearly is just one of the holdovers from the Latino gay porn.
Alex Rodriguez on less steroids.
Yes,
I refer to him as Puss in Boots turned into a human.
So now, when we actually meet this character Cecil, who is just like, fat Morgan Freeman or whatever,
he's the budget Morgan Freeman.
exactly, right.
He's the Diet Mountain Dew of James Earl Jones.
Right.
They were like, when you drink Mountain Dew, do you not shit yourself right away? Well, then try Cecil.
You guys are so mean. Every movie like this has to have a wise old black man. Who's
usually
the only
they're
one wearing
magical,
the prison
too.
uniform.
Yeah.
I'm just super happy that you guys didn't make me watch a movie where the rapist was Cecil. That's all. I'm
Not yet. Not yet.
just super
The night
happy
is
about
young,
that.
bitch.
The fucking the guy, the wise old black sage is Cecil, and I'm happy about that.
At the
that
very
makes me feel
least.
good.
You're playing off
Got
tight,
his
though.
buddy murdered. Yeah. So the way we meet these guys is that Manny's given Mike this the new guy, I'm going to beat him up shit, and the old black guy comes to his defense, which I believe makes Mike Cecil's bitch. Isn't that how it works?
Right.
That's
That's
how
how
it
I
works.
said. He has to suck his dick now, right?
Right. That's how I thought it worked, and we never got to that.
Well, I want to point out all the dialogue between Mike and Manny is the beginning of gay porn. Like,
yes.
Hey man, if you're gonna be in this prison, you're gonna have to earn your way. Bow, 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 bow. Please fill the dick. I know how it works.
I love too, like this guy gains street cred in the prison by being protected by the black dude. Like fucking 300-year-old black guy, the fucking Methuselah of the prison. It's like, hey, can we just not beat him up? Like, oh yeah. See how fucking hard I am.
And then now
Black guy
everybody,
said I'm cool.
respects him and likes him or whatever, I guess.
You get major credit for being defended by a tiny old man who looked like a turtle. He looked like Black Colonel Sanders, so I respect you.
Because Black Colonel Sanders doesn't love everyone.
He looks like a rotting bubble of Aunt Jemima, so I suspect you, man. You good. And I wrote in my notes here, aw, Michael's having trouble fitting in at jail for rape. Because he raped someone. There's so many moments in this movie where we're supposed to go, aw, poor Michael, the rapist.
Poor rapist, yeah,
who
exactly.
raped someone.
Right. Man, he's having such a hard day.
So now we cut back over to Julie, who's chatting with Mom about the plot. And this is
that is so true. They do a little wrap up there.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for exposition, Mom.
Right, you haven't seen us since we had the baby. So we learned that the baby's name is Arthur, and that's what they call him. They don't call him Artie or anything. They call the baby Arthur.
My wife said at that point, she's like, you named her baby Arthur? Now he's really fucked.
Right. He's already got all these rapist genes. And I love this bit, too, because they're talking about, she says,
rapist genes?
She says, like, Dad, do you...
It's hard to find those in size newborns.
So, but no, I gotta go for this. Go back for this line here.
Rapist jeans are usually a tight fit.
Oh no! Oh god!
No, I like to keep them loose. Yeah. But the
Mine
scene here, the mom says, like, "Does Dad really love the baby? He thinks I'm throwing away my life." And I'm thinking, before this, you were a fucking 23-year-old part-time cashier at a grocery store that lived with her parents and isn't getting an. What is there to ruin? Your stellar career at the Safeway is in danger now.
Now I'll never go to community college.
Seriously, Mom, I was like 8 years away from assistant manager at that grocery store.
That's so funny because, dude, there's a scene where the guy's like, you would have made manager. And she's like, well, I don't know, maybe not.
I don't know that I have all that business sense. Well, I don't think I could be the president or the manager of a grocery store. So her mom replies to this by saying, no, you're so strong not to have an abortion. Almost too strong. And I was like, yes, she has super strength. Jessica Jones, I'm into this.
And this is where she asks Mom, do you think Dad loves my rape baby? Mm-hmm. And the mom's like, oh, yeah, I think he likes spending time with your rape baby.
It's not the baby, it's him.
Yeah, he's just in a really hard place right now after his last baby got raped. So just another rape.
He doesn't want to get too close to this one.
I don't want to say he likes him.
He doesn't like labels.
Damn it!
Yeah, we totally watched a movie where the protagonist is a rapist.
Right.
I don't feel good about any of this.
Jesus.
Of course, it's been 10 minutes since the last musical montage, so we're going to need another one of those. Yeah,
we need another. Yeah,
and this is momming is difficult montage.
Right. It's so hard to be a mother. You got to roll your neck a lot. If the baby cries, you got to bounce it up and down because you got yourself raped. It's Jesus rape, baby.
This is my favorite part of the movie, though, because how she solves rape depression is scrapbooking.
Yes,
scrapbooks. She fucking scrapbooks for Jesus, and they totally missed a moment here, right? So she goes and she fucking looks for like 2 hours through a 2,000-year-old book to find quotes to convince herself that she fucking deserved fucking rape or whatever the fuck it was that she was looking for, and she shuts the light off, and it's 4:16 and not 3:16.
They fucked it up.
I can do a fucking better job than these guys. And I didn't even read the fucking Bible, and I can do a better job.
I wanted
so
so badly for the dad to turn the pages of the scrapbook, and there's just like bloody panties in there, and the hunting knife from the car is in there.
Exactly.
With little like cartoon next to it.
The part of the coat hanger that didn't work.
Yeah.
Well, so you have the Finding Jesus in your desk drawer moment, and then Dad comes in and is like, well, let me just look through your shit. And it's like, she's a 23-year-old girl. You're going to find a personal massager you are not interested in finding, bro. Like, I don't know, man. There comes an age where you don't root through fucking desk drawers anymore.
Honey, I have a question about this Sibian here. Is this some kind of neck massager? How come it looks like
It says Hitachi. I don't know. It's a magic
Are you into horseback riding now?
Oh my
She's
God.
paying Cole to yell "shut up" at her while she rides it.
Why is there a webcam in here? I don't understand what's happening.
By the way, the quote she found from the Bible at this point that she scrapbooked was from...
Oh, God, please tell me.
It was 1 Corinthians, where, as we all know, it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it isn't always consensual. There's a lot of important stuff in there.
It doesn't tattle.
They read this at a lot of wedding vows. It's a beautiful, beautiful book.
Oh my God.
If you look at that fucking shit, though, like if you were actually looking through the Bible for like information on rape, she would have had a like per shekel price at the end of that in her fucking. It's like, yeah, you owe my dad. Like,
Yeah,
at least
I expected her to show up at the prison
Right.
and be like, "All right, Mike, so I did some conversion, and shekel is like $60, so it's like $3,000, and then you have to marry me unless you want to cut off one of my hands because I guess we were
Right, that's
kind of fighting. I don't know. This book doesn't make a lot of sense."
I did grab your nuts that
I
one
spoke
time.
at church once, so yeah, fair enough.
So now we get to the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is where so what she was wrestling with apparently that night was her guilt over being angry at her rapist. That's what was keeping her up till 4:16 a.m.
I thought it was a crying fucking baby.
Well, there was that too.
Oh, okay.
But she was having a hard time coping with the baby because she hadn't forgiven her rapist yet. You know how that is.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got.
You actually can't lactate until you forgive your rapist.
Apparently not.
God, I've forgiven so many rapists.
So she goes to the prison for this cathartic moment where she brings the baby. Now this is like a 3-week-old baby. You know, she could have brought a fucking picture, but she brings the baby to the prison to meet its rape daddy.
Right.
Rape daddy! Rape daddy!
And I just want to say, she got her fucking baby body back, like,
Oh, yeah,
immediately.
Yeah, within
There ain't
minutes.
nothing there.
Man.
God, those 23-year-olds can just pop them out
God damn.
and look fuckable a day later. You know what I mean? Or
Jesus,
rapeable.
rapeable.
Or rapeable in this case. You know.
Pilates.
Well, when we saw this 6 months later, which was the only moment where we saw that she was pregnant, she was clearly like that. She had one of those stomach-only pregnancies.
Right.
It wasn't in her face or
Did
arms
you
or
guys
anything
caught
else.
the scene at the mirror though, right? Where
Yeah.
they clearly have a body double
Yes.
step in first.
You practically see the Mexican girl run out of shot.
I know. It's like not even her shade. You're just like, that's not even you.
A stomach-only pregnancy.
That's actually fucking Puffy Baldwin's stomach that they're showing in that scene.
Steven, can you stand in front of the camera for a second? All right, but when I'm done here, I'm going to need to lower myself onto a rain of sausages.
But what we need to do is we need you to suck it in a little, just so she looks like she's 9 months.
What if she had twins? Then I could relax.
Look, man, this isn't like fucking Kate and 8 or whatever, all right? Pull it back. Pull it back.
Draw
all
another
right?
8 on my face and we have a deal.
So they come in and they say, "Mike, you've got a visitor. Who is it? We don't know." He goes out and it's Julie. It's the chick that he raped. And I so wanted at this point, I wanted her to just rip open her shirt, slap her tits on the glass, and like, this is as close as you're going to get for 10 years, and then walk out. Fucking credits could roll. I would have been happy with this movie.
Forget about me.
This is where I wrote down, hello, rape victim. Hello, Newman. That was the tone of this.
All of those would have been more appropriate responses than showing up and being like, anyway, here's my smile.
Yeah, right. Here's the picture of the sonogram.
Why don't you seem happy to see me?
I brought you cookies. Oh, they don't let me have those because I'm in prison for raping you. Right.
So
I can't pass them through the teller door or whatever the fuck you were gonna do.
Oh, I'm here with cookies and Bibles and babies.
Run your rape baby through the metal detector, please. Run your rape baby through the metal detector, please. This is awkward for everyone. Let's do it.
I stuck a file in my baby to get it in there.
But Mike doesn't take it well. You know, he's not really happy to see a drop-dead hot blonde chick coming to visit him in prison. So
he's really mad at her for him raping her.
Clearly.
Right? He's like, you're the reason I'm in here. It's like, oh, no, you misinterpreted that.
No, man.
I was just thrusting my dick into space, and if you hadn't been there, there's no law against it. Well, there's a little bit of a law because we were in public, but other than that. Right. Yeah, so he says, like, he says to Cecil, he's like, do you think it's weird that she came to see me? And Cecil's like, no, not really. I'm like, yes! It's fucking psychotic weird. So strange, in fact, that if a person made a movie about it, for example, they should be committed against their will.
And then he's got that moment where he's like, I don't know, she was so happy, so full of light, so okay with the fact that I raped her.
That was really weird.
Even Cecil in this movie's like, yeah, man, that's weird. I know, right? She's gonna poison you with a gom jabbar, man. You gotta step back. You can't fucking don't let her within
close
3 feet
enough
of
to
you.
thrust a knife. Yeah, exactly. Now, we also have to set up at this moment in this really bizarrely awkward scene that there's going to be some kind of gang war between the blacks and the whites or something. This is where we get Stephen Baldwin throwing down his Oscar clip.
Right. And this movie could not be shot out of order more. This movie looks like they just took all the scenes and they like put random in iMovie and they were like, great, that's fine. People will figure it out. Now it's a mystery. You guys saw Memento, right? It's like Memento.
Clearly they had 2 days with Stephen Baldwin.
Right.
Well, they made it count, Noah. They made it count.
They were like, look, we have a day and a half until he gets that kid's heart that died in a motorcycle accident. You can have him for that time. The shoot's right next to the hospital.
There's no way we could sustain Stephen more than 2 days with our craft service. So we have to move on.
Our budget. He ate our whole budget before we got done interviewing him.
We had no idea we were paying by the pound. Holy shit. And this was another great moment where this movie just really needed profanity because you got these gangsters talking to each other, getting all mad, and they're saying stuff like, until your big retard dropped the box and got caught.
Flip you, buddy. Flip you.
You're a turd.
Hey, duty head. I'm going to stab you with an improvised weapon. That is what I am going to do. Stab you.
But now you can tell that Stephen Baldwin is the chief badass because he's monotone and raspy.
And he doesn't look at anybody. He never looks at anybody in any of his scenes. He always looks straight forward.
Oh, actually, I watched the behind the scenes thing on the DVD, and they had a stick on his back with a KFC 6-piece bucket in front of him just off camera. That's how they kept him on shoot. Otherwise, he kept wandering to a nearby Taco Bell, chewing his way through the armed guards.
Carrots to the left and right so he wouldn't look that way.
No, sorry. Fuck that.
He would turn to left or right with revulsion.
I'll take 75 Mexican pizzas for here.
I love those.
Quick, Baldwin needs the gravy tube.
Mr. Baldwin, you're crying fire sauce. It's okay. It happens.
You should see my shit. But he doesn't want to see her because apparently he is not ready to forgive her.
I think.
Forgive her.
I think there's another montage here, actually. I think her visits are a montage.
Yeah, right. But a montage in the midst of a conversation between these other characters.
That's a monsterization. Yeah. That's a thing.
Oh, gotcha. It's breaking new ground. I love it. So, yeah, as near as I can divine, the stakes in this movie appear to be, will the rapist accept her apology? So I guess that's the suspense that we're going to have to leave you with as we move on to the second break.
That wins the fucking movie right there. Close it up. That's it.
All right, well, we're at least going to close off the first half, but before we do, I have to give the second half the hard sell here. So, and yes, I'm sorry, this is only half.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, right? Only halfway through my notes anyway.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's a lot of rape
there's a lot
apologetics
of
yet to come.
Apologetics still to come, yeah.
So, very quickly then, will Mike forgive Julie for raping her? Will Stephen Baldwin hang himself in the dressing room before they can finish filming? Will the dressing room's rafters be able to take that? Find out the answers to these questions and more when we return for the numbing conclusion of Loving the Bad Man. If there's anything we've learned in the course of doing this show is that you never reach the worst Christian movie. As much as we may think that the bar cannot go lower, it always manages to, and sometimes by several orders of magnitude. And of course, that means that somewhere out there is a significantly worse movie than this one. So in an effort to figure out what could be a more offensive and disturbing concept to build a movie around, Eli, Heath, and I contacted the folks behind Loving the Bad Man to see what they have in mind for 2016. So without further ado, we present you with their 2016 cinematic lineup.
Moishe started reading Mein Kampf out of curiosity, but after a deep and difficult look into his own soul, he realized that Hitler made some pretty good points. After all, Moishe and his people were unusually rodent-like, and they did secretly control the world and start all the wars. Join him in the fall of 2016 along his journey to visit Auschwitz and do the right thing by gassing himself in
Juno.
When Pastor Brown's daughter was brutally gang raped by the lacrosse team, he realized she was ruined and now no one would ever want to marry her. Using the Bible as his guide, he'll stop at nothing to hunt down the boys who did this and get the shekels he's owed. Summer of 2016.
50 shekels of gray.
Tommy dreamed of playing for Penn State his whole life, but everybody told him he was too small, and also they don't let 11-year-olds play college football. But when he received an invite to meet the assistant coach in the locker room after practice, he ignores all their naysaying and sets out to pursue his dream in
Sandusky Till Dawn.
And despite common sense, we're back for more of this fucking movie. And when we last saw our hero, he was a rapist. So fuck this goddamn piece of shit.
See if they can resolve that.
But also now we're working at the mechanic shop with Cecil, and he's doing a very good job because even if you rape the cars, I guess it's still okay.
and Mike,
the cars wanted it.
Mike, the rapist, he's asking Cecil for advice. He's like, "Hey, old man, you're a wise black prisoner, right? Let me ask you something. In terms of etiquette, do you think I should ask for a conjugal visit at this point?" No, it's stupid. I know it's stupid. I'm a rapist. I don't know why I said that.
Well, I love his explanation here is the baby white? Well, it must be yours then.
Right.
Literally. So weird.
That's literally the conversation. He goes, well, is the baby white? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, must be yours because every time a white person has sex with another white person, the baby's white. You're the only white person in the world, so is she. Congratulations, Cecil.
The best part is that even the lines the actor said next were incredulous as to the stupidity of the prior line. The actor was like, the fuck does that even mean? It's like, that's fucking nonsense. And then they just move away from it.
Yeah.
That's so weird. They're just like, well, who wrote this? I don't know, some fucking intern. Moving on.
He says, demand a blood test, and I wanted so badly for them to flash cut to Maury. You are the father. And she's dancing.
Demand a blood test. Penetrate her against her will again.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, come on, Tom.
Hey, man,
I also love
keep it clean,
That was
okay?
over the line.
Come on, man.
That was over the line. Come on. Boundaries.
I also love this was the greatest non-cussing moment in the movie to me because Cecil says he's explaining like why would she be trying to convince you that you're the fucking father if you weren't, since you're a useless piece of shit. And he says, I mean, you ain't even got two turds to rub together.
Well,
why would you rub turds together?
I heard this. I thought the same thing. I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know what do you hope to get out of that.
Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah, right?
That's how you get a Stephen Baldwin.
Oh, yeah.
Is you rub your two turds
Do you want
together.
Stephen Baldwin's? Because that's how you get Baldwin.
This is how we get another Baldwin.
If I ever took a shit that you could rub against another shit.
Guys, Noah's never taken a shit.
No, look. I mean, think about, just consider the consistency of a turd together. Now, imagine you've got a turd in each hand.
90% blood.
And you're gonna, and you're
Why do I have to imagine this? I heard
You fucking imagine it. You imagine it. Shit in your hand right now on this podcast for us.
Or you can do the experiment. It's like Schrodinger's cat. It's way more fun if you actually do the experiment.
But hold on. Noah, here's the problem. I can get there, right? I've got the two turds, but then there's the whole backstory that my mind starts to come. Like, wait a minute. What tragic series of events has led me to this moment? Because I'm standing here holding two different feces. And because I didn't just wake up this way.
But it's like Saw. You wake up and you're like, why do I have shit in my hand?
I want to play a game.
Fuck.
Rub those two turds together.
I want to play a game with flax.
Yeah. If I can't start this forest fire, I'm in big trouble.
Oh my God. That's so much pre-workout.
Oh my God. Why is there blood in this?
This is one of these Stephen Baldwins.
Oh, man.
You can't hold my shit. It's mostly liquid. It's Mostly tomato sauce. That's not tomato sauce. I can see a piece of your colon. Colon. That means it's time to pause and rethink my life choices.
This whole movie was a good reason.
It comes out by the gallon. That's why.
I drank some Kool-Aid when I was little.
Can you shit out cirrhosis? I feel like
So now we cut back to Mom, who is, saying, "Hey, honey, would you like to do something other than visit the rapist guy?" But she wouldn't. And this is also
You sure you don't want to shake this baby, young lady?
shake the author.
And this time it's Julie asking for Mom's advice. Hey, Mom, think I should ask for a conjugal visit? No, that's too He's a rapist.
You don't want to face that kind of rejection yet, honey.
Well, and also, Mom clearly wants her to fuck Cole, which leads you to kind of wonder why anyone would want anyone to fuck Cole. But that's
not even Cole wants anyone to fuck
Cole. No, Cole's like, "Oh, honey, you could do so much better."
You could have a rapist, for example.
Yeah. You could have a guy whose eyes would like not bop a level or something. Yeah, that's
Cole hires prostitutes to reject him. I just want you to be like, I really think you're a close friend and I don't want to ruin it. Will you let me take you to the movies and buy you popcorn and then at the end of the night tell me that you're having a fight with your boyfriend? Thanks.
So now we cut to all the prisoners complimenting him on raping such a hot chick, I guess.
Oh, this is the fatty fat scene.
Oh, yes, yeah, exactly.
This is the guy who should have been called Cecil. The guy with the hairy back who took up 3 seats. That's the Cecil that should have been called Cecil.
Ravioli. I called him Ravioli in the movie.
Right.
Fatty Fat is the only person in this movie fatter than Stephen Baldwin. Like, it was in his rider. He was like, there must be at least one person in the movie.
One guy.
I want to stand next to him for most of my scenes.
There must be comic relief that is fatter than me.
And Fatty Fat is like Lenny from fucking Mice and Men.
Mice and Men,
He's like super excited. He's like, I don't tell you, man. I wouldn't be raping no girls if I had a girl that looked that good. Oh, no, I wouldn't. I mean, I'd rape girls if I had an ugly girlfriend, which is what I was dialogue. But you had such a lovely lady. Man, she's your fiance. And everyone like gathers around and it's like they're going to do a fucking summer loving musical number.
That is super creepy because they're like, man, you only rape girls that are attractive. I mean, right? That's how rape is, right, guys?
Right.
Nobody here understands how it works at all. We're just terrible people.
Clearly, they're implying that rape is the thing you do if the girl you're with isn't pretty enough. Yeah, that seems to be their understanding of how rape works.
And then when he finds out that that's the girl he raped, he's like, guys, that's the girl I raped. Everyone's like, oh. Party foul.
Awkward.
High five, bro.
And then we get the evil Stephen Baldwin music. Now, Brother Tyler, who was the Mr. Clean with AIDS that we met when Mike was in the holding cell here, and he is like Stephen Baldwin's number 2 guy. He calls him his chief recruiter or whatever.
Alternate universe Heath Enwright.
Yeah. After I already called him Mr. Clean with AIDS, so I don't know what that says about you, Heath. But at any rate, so clearly...
I'm not that clean.
Nice.
I don't maintain eye contact for that long.
Right. This guy eye fucks everyone he's on camera with. It's ridiculous. But now he wants to take action against the black guys that didn't pay for the thing or whatever that we were talking about earlier.
You're never really sure exactly what happened there, right? It's just like 30% of a thing is a thing.
No, because they can't mention drugs or gay sex or cuss or anything. So yeah, there's just sort of some vague like, we had a deal and you didn't honor it kind of a thing that's behind all of this. I guess it doesn't fucking matter,
like
apparently.
One of the black guys' gang was making Steven a wedding cake and it fell out of his hands. That's what we have from Canon is like, he was like, oh no! The fondant! And Steven was like, kill them all. You dropped Steven's lunch wedding cake, you'd go down. I'll stab you with a magical shiv that instantly kills you.
And then we have to revisit the ginger stalker. So Julie goes to the grocery store and runs into Cole, who has apparently gotten a big promotion. And
because the manager who wasn't Christian had a stroke from not being Christian.
Yeah, exactly.
They were like, well, he was just too stressed out, unlike us Christians, am I right?
Yeah, right.
Too stressed out from managing a grocery store? Wait a minute. What, you got a fucking... Oh, wait, is it first in, first out, or first out, first in? I don't remember. Fuck. Oh, my God, all the milk spoiled. Oh, aneurysm. What? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? It's managing a grocery store.
It's a high-pressure job. You got little Tyler stealing Pop-Tarts. You got your assistant manager getting raped every time. Fucking driving into the middle of nowhere. The guy had a hard week. Don't you judge
I love
him?
the fact that we're supposed to believe in this, that like we're supposed to look at Cole and see that he's been promoted to the temporary manager of a grocery store and say, oh, that kid's going places. Yeah, that's who you want to be with.
He's not friend zone anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up? He's driving around a Subaru in a few years. You know what I'm saying, guys?
He's going to go home and masturbate to this rejection a little later.
She didn't even look at me. So then he has this
oh,
moment.
God, I'm going to come in my own glasses.
Oh, he's doing the plow.
Again.
I get it.
He's got a name for it. I always thought it was the position that could not be named.
And by the way, he prays for the stroke victim. What the fuck? Unbelievable. Yeah, thanks. That's perfect. Because God was having a ton of trouble understanding my stroke victim dad with all the aphasia.
I wrote that in my notes. I wrote, I'm going to pray for him. And I wrote, Heath, how you feel about that? It is in the Google Doc.
No, that's good. Yeah, he's really hard to understand when he prays. So good. Yeah, you pray for him.
Oh, God. At this point in the movie, I was getting mad at the little red line on Netflix that told me there was still 1 minutes of this. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
And then he says, before I go to sleep every night, I pray for you. I've been praying for you a lot.
Yeah.
Into a tube
tissues.
sock.
That fucking fat lot of good. It's done.
I got a whole sock full of praying for you.
I pray for you into a tube sock every night.
Right. And then we cut to Mike, who's got his photos, and
yeah, he's writing letters to his rape baby.
right, and Cecil's like, of course,
Dear rape baby. Hope one day you'll be able to understand the situation your mother and I were in.
Being a father can be a difficult challenge when you're locked up in prison for raping your... Oh, wait, I know, that's maybe not the way to start this.
It's like they're setting up a sitcom about a family of rape and their wacky hijinks. I will watch that. Pure Flix original series right there.
Hells yeah.
Oh, yeah.
he's a rapist, and she's a single mother just trying to get by. This week on Rape Baby.
Can they get along in the city?
How I raped your mother.
Oh, you beat me to it! You beat me. Kids, I'm going to tell you a really, really fucked up story.
It's the name of this podcast right there. How I raped your mother. That's amazing.
Oh, my God. Can I go home?
Yeah, I want to quit eventually. Are we done now or what?
No, much like this movie, you will give birth to this baby. You will keep
not
until
abort
I
this
finish.
episode.
Is there any way I could tag in Thomas from Thomas in the Bible or something?
If I just push back a little, can you finish earlier? Because I can't do this much longer. I'm getting sore.
I've been waiting for someone to ask me that my whole life, bro. So now we have to go back and have dinner with the Whites again. Again, they're having fucking Caligula's meal here or something. Fucking trying to fatten up Elvis with this goddamn dinner thing. And of course, Joey's back to disappoint with his dad with all the gay DJing.
They have a salad bowl you could dive in.
Yes, yes.
So
You can Scrooge McDuck your way through the goddamn salad. Yes.
Also, the dad's being really mean to Joey about him being a DJ, and I wrote in my notes, this movie wants me to like her dad less than I like her rapist. It's not working.
Well, this is also where dad finds out that she's been visiting the rape daddy. And I think the message of this movie at this point, I think, is rape can be awesome if you do it right, but oh my God! But occasionally it'll cause problems with your family.
Minor drawbacks.
Yeah. The problems with rape are the reactions of your family to it.
Tends to be, yeah,
and the dad's just like jealous of the rape baby. He's like, that little bastard, he's using my tools. He doesn't put them back where the outlines go. He
hasn't fixed the fucking sprinkler system yet, the little shit. Get a job, Arthur. What the fuck?
He drank most of the milk. There's just a dribble at the bottom, and then he puts it back in the fucking fridge.
This at this point though, is her lowest point. She gets kicked out of her house by her parents, right? Because her dad flips his shit, and he actually says the word rape baby in this little diatribe. He says rape baby.
Yep.
And he flips his shit and he says, fucking get the fuck out. You got 5 minutes to leave. And at this point I realize her story is like the story of Job, right? Like there's all this working all the way through where she gets raped and she has this awful time and she keeps on trying to be good. She keeps on trying to believe in God and her life is just in a shambles. But as long as she remains faithful, everything will be good. But it's like the story of Job, but with more rape. So it's more like a hand Job or like a blow Job.
Yeah, exactly. So, and also,
see, I thought that was funny. Fuck you guys. Fuck you. Fucking blow Job is gold. It's fucking gold.
We're gonna move in a bunch of laughter like David Smalley does in post.
Fuck you guys. I quit. That's it. A fucking blow Job is gold.
I'm not turning down a blow Job.
No.
No,
well,
I worked like 5 minutes on that joke.
Also, I want to point out that, like, while we're in the middle of the dad freaking out scene, we're also cutting back and forth to the prison because this movie won't stay on any one scene until it's over.
Right.
And we have this moment where Cecil's giving him some wisdom, right? And he says, basically he says, hey, rape is just how God works sometimes, Have you read the New Testament? Because that's pretty much the start.
Yeah, rape's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Oh, Heath! Oh, no one would have thought of that. Oh, Heath!
I think that's the moral of the movie.
Oh, so funny.
Fuck you guys. That's all I'm saying. Fuck you guys. I'm not even saying anything anymore. I'm just going to say it. I won't even laugh at your jokes.
No, I'll tell you what. At the very least, I'm going to use it for a great transition here too, because in the very next scene, it's another one of those, like, he's sitting with the girl talking in the prison, and the opening line is, he's looking at a picture and he's asking if she can enlarge it, but the way he starts the sentence is, do you think you could maybe blow? And I did not expect that to end with this up for me.
Yeah.
But,
he just fits his dick through one of those little holes. This is what Jesus would do.
This is so us talking through a wall, riot siren in the background. We're connected by God. This is so us. This is so us.
Oh, and why is that siren going off, by the way? Because Brother Tyler killed Cecil while he was pissing to upset his nephew, who's the guy that didn't pay for the wedding cake.
Yeah. So they kill Cecil, but they kill
poor Cecil.
They kill Cecil in a way that makes no fucking sense. They wrap a towel around his neck, then they stab him with the magic shivs. All the shivs in this movie are magic. They stab you once in the stomach and you die instantly.
And you die.
No, they're coated with iocane powder.
That's the thing,
Oh, is that?
It's serious, dangerous stuff.
Exactly. It's like the fucking blades from Dune in this goddamn
Also,
movie.
that would never hurt Stephen Baldwin.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no way. There's not a fucking way. You wouldn't. You need a
broadsword, yeah.
They can tell how old Stephen Baldwin is by the harpoons in his spine.
There's like two Ahabs tied to his side at this point.
Plus, the audio engineer pays a tremendous amount of time attention to the pissing sound in that death scene.
He totally does.
Like, cause it's fucking tinkle tinkle little star there for like 10 minutes.
Just a flash cut to that sound engineer being like, "No, you have to pee on my chest again. We didn't get it." I'm tired of drinking this Gatorade, man. Are you sure you're recording? Yeah, go. Yeah, go. Actually, get it on my neck, because my neck is where the mic is.
That's where it's the most resonant.
So then she says, anything else I can get for you? And he doesn't say pictures of your snatch, which,
Right, I thought for sure he's going to be like, just rub it a little through your jeans.
Yeah, exactly.
Just a little. Just for a
Can you
minute.
breastfeed right here?
That kid looks hungry anyway.
I'll take anything I can get.
So he leaves the visit with her, and this is where he's got to find out that Cecil was killed. Him and Cecil are buddies, of course. But he finds out from Manny,
I have a clip of that.
who has to sit there and eye fuck him for a good 3 minutes before he talks.
Yeah.
It was like everyone else who has a conversation in prison. That's how you talk in prison, is you eye fuck for 3 minutes And then you get to the point.
Again, that's because this actor 12 minutes before had been shooting a scene where someone was balls deep in his throat, so he was unaware of how to transition into normal movie.
He was also used to looking up a lot throughout
Yeah,
the
right.
whole scene.
All of the outtakes of this movie are Manny going, so does he start sucking my dick now? When does he start?
Or do I suck his?
So
Or-
guys, we gotta stop shoot. We gotta shoot on alternate days so that I'm like Monday, Wednesday, suck my dick. Tuesday, Thursday, rape his kid. You know, I'll give it a little rhyme going.
He's pissed off that there's no pineapple at the craft service.
Right.
It's all garlic over here. This is
Come on, the guy's gonna be super pissed when I jizz in his mouth.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. Are we ready for another Christian music montage
Greek
here?
chicken. This is horrible. Greek chicken. It's Greek chicken and asparagus. Jesus. I mean, just throw a landfill on the guy.
Or Stephen Baldwin should rub 2 turds on it. He was in that porn last week.
Yeah, right.
Guys, Stephen Baldwin thought the cum on my face was mayo and he'd clean me up, so I don't need hair or makeup.
Makeup. So
That was salty.
now,
Salty, yucky, no.
Oh man.
Oh my God.
so now the good news here is at this point in the movie, Michael is reading the Bible, which means we're getting close.
He's
We're getting
paging
close,
through
y'all.
the Bible.
The rapist is reading the Bible.
Reading in quotes here.
Right,
Let's,
right.
let's not say this man has the power of reading.
Right.
Yeah, he gets the letter from Julie, and it's like, yeah, dear rapist, the Bible's not 100% clear on their rape stance, but I think you might want to look at a few of these passages. Just check them out. You know, some are pro, some are con. Weigh it. You want to weigh it.
I think you owe my dad like 50 silver pieces. I don't know.
It's context. It's important.
Yeah.
I also like, she says, like, I marked a couple places you could start reading because you just don't want to start from the, I also ripped out Revelation, all the major prophets, Joshua, and everything from the Pentateuch after the plagues, but other than that, I think you'll be good. Just read the highlighted parts. Stay on the line!
She just hands him like 4 pages of Ecclesiastes, and she's like,
Right.
this is what you can read that doesn't make you feel better about what you did.
I got that in John 3:16 for you. But the voiceover, of course, is her in the Bible, and it's I believe this one's from Corinthians too, where it's the blessed are the people who get their heads chopped off for Jesus passage.
Right.
So but they're I guess they're interpreting it as blessed are the people who get put in jail for raping people.
Yeah. They're
Yeah,
pretty much the
it's
same.
to totally feel better about being in jail for terrible shit you've done, and you're just like, well, wait a minute. Maybe he shouldn't feel better about this. Like,
Right.
the whole well, I had such a hard time with this idea of like, well, wait a minute, let's make the rapist feel good. Like, what if he felt like totes guilty about it, man? We
Yeah,
wouldn't
that would
want
be nice.
There is one
Man.
moment of guilt in this movie where he feels guilty, where he's talking to Cecil and he goes, this is the worst thing I've ever done, but it's also the most beautiful. That's it. That is the only remorse this rapist ever shows in this fucking movie.
Ever.
Everything
That
else in
shit
the
makes
film
me crazy.
Everything else in the film is like, hey, you're being kind of mean to him, Stephen Baldwin. All he did was rape a lady. He's over there getting bullied by Crazy Eyes. He's our protagonist. We should be rooting for him.
Oh my God. So and of course he's found out now that it was Mr. Clean that killed Cecil, and he's like, what are we going to do? And they're like, well, don't do anything. But of course he can't hold himself back. So then when he's in the prison yard or whatever and he sees him,
They have a 95-minute fight scene.
but there are never more than 2 hits between cuts.
No.
So it was a 95 it took about 7 years to film this fucking thing.
That's because all the actors are so fucking overweight and out
Yes,
of shape. They were fucking
right,
gassed immediately.
This
It was
Except
like-
Manny, who pulls the little reverse roundhouse. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah,
yeah.
this was an interesting fight scene. Yeah, I definitely saw a dragon punch, a hurricane kick, maybe a sonic boom. But it was also interesting because I guess this is one of those. You got it, man. You got it. This is one of those boutique jails. They have like 6 black guys, 6 Latino guys, and 6 Nazis, and 18 guards. It's a great faculty to student ratio at this jail. It's like an Ivy League jail.
Oh, wait, and then there's also Fatty Fat, who's not in any, he's not in any gang.
Right.
He's just in the corner getting his ass beat by
Yeah,
someone.
exactly.
On
He always
principle.
gets picked last for gangs. It's really sad.
He just picked last for gangs.
I have a theory that this movie was created because there was a Christian stage combat class that everyone, including Stephen Baldwin, took, and this movie was their year-end project.
Oh shit. But during the fight, Mike gets stabbed, Manny comes to his defense, and whatever, and shit hits the fan. But that's that scene. And of course, then we cut to Julie coming to see him, but he can't be seen because he's all stabbed and the guard doesn't know why. And she gives him this look like, this is not the only prison in town, sir. I will go see a rapist down at fucking this other facility over at Rikers.
What she doesn't realize is he's a state employee and he doesn't give no fucks. Right? He's just like, exactly. Whatever, man. I'm fucking as surly as the postal workers. Leave me the fuck alone.
Sir, you are talking your way to a 1-star Yelp review, okay? I want to visit my rapist. Would not recommend. Rude stab.
I'm using that in the future. It's amazing. I'm using that from now on. I'm just gonna walk up to people. 1 star, bitches.
So when she gets rejected at the prison, now she goes to Cole because he's the only other paid actor in the film she's not related to, and has this compliment me, I have psychological issues and I'm only allowed to use Jesus moment.
Right.
And that's when it occurred to me, the real dig in this fucking movie is that at no point in this movie does she get psychological fucking counseling.
That's what I wrote. Julie is obviously dealing with trauma and needs therapy, and everyone in the movie is like, buck up there, Julie. What are you doing? Cut it out.
Get some more Jesus.
You're kind of being a bitch.
Well, the only time anyone ever says anything about her needing help is when the dad's kicking her out of the house and they have the long string of terrible things to say to her. You're rape, baby. You suck, blah, blah, blah. Get out of my house. You need psychological counseling. Well, but hey, which one doesn't belong? Which one doesn't belong?
Right. Rape, baby.
Which one's good advice?
You need psychological counseling, which I will not provide. My sprinklers are in need of repair. I cannot prioritize.
How do you think I got to work 6 jobs just to fill this goddamn salad bowl, kids? So now I also want to point out this because we cut back to the grocery store where Cole takes her in the back to have a little heart-to-heart in the break room. And she's clearly breaking down and shit. And Cole's basically giving her the Christian equivalent of look, I definitely want to fuck you, but not when you're all psycho and weepy like this. So calm down.
And this is also where Cole basically sells her on the rapist because he's not very confident. He's like, listen, I know I'm not the coolest guy, and this rapist clearly has a lot to offer, but maybe the answer's right in front of you. Maybe the answer. Do you love the rapist? And Julie's like, I feel like you want me to say no. Yes, no, pass. I pass.
Well, I also love the way this scene wraps is when he's like, oh well, I got to go get back to work. I mean, I know you're a traumatized and unstable person with no support structure who seems suicidal and has no home, but those kumquats aren't going to miss themselves, so got important shit to do.
I gotta clean out the dairy cooler, bitch.
So just cry it out. I'll be back later, and if you're passed out, we'll have sex.
I'm sorry, if I don't go out there, people are going to take milk from the back, and then it's just going to be a fucking shit show. I
rotate the stock.
In this scene, he goes, we need to start something healthy. And I wanted her to go, you mean you rape me?
Because I'm pretty fertile. I don't know if you knew. I want to talk, though, about the title of this movie, right? At this point, we find out that she doesn't really love that guy. And she never really loved that guy. She just wanted for him to forgive him. So the title of this movie, Loving the Bad Man, is not about the guy in prison. I think it's about God. I think loving the bad man is about loving God. I just blew Tom's mind. Tom's like, oh no, that's
3 hours and 4 shots of bourbon of this recording, and he's like, I don't know, guys. The Bible's starting to make sense because it's not this movie. You guys ever really think about Little Mermaid? I mean, really think about it.
So we also get this sequence where Mike and Manny are flirting, and Mike's talking about how biblical he is now. And he has this line where he's like, oh, but when I read this, I don't want to hurt anyone anymore.
Oh my God.
Except when I read the parts where it tells me to kill people and stuff. And then I kind of do.
Which is like half of the thing.
Right? Yes.
Except maybe I keep raping because that turned out pretty great, man.
Look,
He's in prison. That's the place for it.
I think I'm ready for a big family. Maybe Arthur gets a raped sibling or like a half sibling. Maybe I rape somebody else. Maybe I rape somebody else. This all worked out so well. It's hard to argue with these results. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Fucking rape sibling.
Oh, Jesus.
You got a
That's a
rapey
thing.
little half brother.
That's a thing.
So then Joey, after he has his bonding moment with Dad, steals the car or has her steal the car?
You've got the wrong character there.
Cole.
Yes, Cole was the...
Cole.
Yeah, no, it's friend zone at this point.
Yeah,
Friend zone.
Right, exactly.
Cole,
but it's
tricks her into going home. She's like, what are we doing here? And he's like, I've got a surprise for you. It's the dad who kicked you out of the house for being raped. To which he says, listen, Julie, I know we haven't seen eye to eye.
Eye to eye.
What do Christians think rape is? I think no one in this movie I think they've heard that rape results in pregnancy, but they think it just means like, I don't know, when someone like pinches you with their knuckles. It's like a Smurf bite. And you go to jail for it because those things smart.
So the family all hugs it out and they all put it behind them, and then
They say Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And they go inside. Jesus.
And then we get what I thought was probably the craziest moment in the movie, where she brings her dad.
Yes.
To meet her rapist in prison.
Yes.
This scene makes no sense.
No!
I watched the scene and it's like, and she's like, I have a surprise for you. She's all coy about it.
Right.
Like, it's a nipple, you know, but it's not a nipple at all. It's like, I got a surprise for you, and it's like, here is my angry gorilla dad. It's just like,
it's the man who would most like to kill you. And by the way, the dad is completely fine after one sentence. The dad picks up the phone. He's like, you son of a bitch, I'll murder you if I ever got the chance. And he's like, I'm real sorry for raping your daughter. And he's like, all right, you're good.
Yeah.
Hold on. Is someone cutting onions in here?
oh, you seem sad over there on that side. Can we all just hug you?
Look, I'm not a father, but you guys are. If someone raped your kid, how many sentences would they have to say before you completely forgave them?
I feel like if somebody raped my kid and they were able to say a sentence, I've done my job wrong.
Exactly.
No shit. Yes.
If they were able to utter words, I'd be like, oh, I'm fucking.
No, I did a bad
clearly,
job.
I was in another state.
I'm not done.
Yeah. Oh, you're still talking? We have work to do.
I did a bad job.
Yeah, and they hang up for a second, and Julie takes the phone again, but then the rapist is like, no, let me talk to him one more time. And we got one of the definitely a brand new movie sentence. Dad, it's for you. It's the rapist. He wants to talk to you again. I don't think that's arguably it's the best use of that.
She then apologizes to him. She's like, sorry, he's just super mad about you raping me, but like, he'll come around. It was very much like a meet the parents moment. It was like, you just gotta give him time to know you and love you the way I do. You should try raping him.
Oh my God.
Oh, which leads us to the, oh God, it's about time, conclusion of this film.
Yeah.
Which starts with Mike. He's in his, I guess he took over Cecil's job once Cecil got killed, so now he's the head of the mechanics or whatever.
Cecil's job. Come on.
And Steven shows up with his goons, and I so wanted this thing to go West Side Story at this point, but it didn't. Instead,
they
he
had
goes,
some banter though, yeah.
Yeah, right. Instead, he's like, it's okay, guys. Cecil's in heaven, so, you know.
Right.
I'm not that mad.
And the guy who looks like one of those stress dolls that you squeeze it and its eyes pop out of its skull, his brother Tyler, he comes in and he's basically like, hey, fatty fat, Michael's like, fatty fat, go to the desk, tell them someone's been killed. Tell them you don't know who. And I just want to imagine Fatty walking up to the desk. Hi, officer, someone's been killed. I don't know who. Shut up, Fatty Fat.
It's like, you didn't stop to look. You're just like,
Right.
I guess that's just a corpse.
No, I knew that if I didn't get to craft
I so
services
many.
before Steven, I wasn't going to be any.
It's okay, fatty fat. Just go to the ice cream bar like you normally do.
It's Taco Tuesday. I don't have time to find victims.
I need to eat my weight in tacos.
Just go ahead and put your head under the Froyo dispenser and it's all be fine. Outrageous.
Okay, no, at this point though, Stephen Baldwin, fatty fat Baldwin, looks at, he has this moment where he talks to the main character and kind of explains what's going to happen. And what's going to happen is he's going to kill the gay AIDS-infected Michael Stipe, and he's going to kill the main character. And what we have here is this. I think it's pretty racist, actually, because they're showing the white supremacists as sort of being these sort of noble criminals.
Right, yes.
We have this like, well, he's a killer and he's a white supremacist, but you know what? He's kind of got a good streak in him. And the good streak is he's going to kill this other guy before he kills you. He'll let you watch this other guy squirm in death.
Yeah, it's this weird scene where like that chunky beef brisket guy, he just like looks over and is like, ugh. And then Beef Brisket takes out the magic shiv, and fucking aces him one time in the stomach, and the guy is just like, well, fucking real dead from that. What did he hit?
He fucking it's a wand. He fucking whispers Avada Kedavra as he stabs him.
It's like Iron Man. He got the Iron Man, the shard goes into the heart there, I guess.
And the whole time, Stephen Baldwin doesn't even look left or right. He's like, I only look at the camera.
But he does. But he does breathe heavy throughout the whole scene.
Yeah,
they stapled a Twinkie to Michael's forehead for this scene.
That's the only guy that needs a fucking CPAP machine walking around.
Right. A lot of people don't know this fun fact. From the waist down, Stephen is in an iron lung. It's just making his intestines process all the fat. He's just being squeezed like a tube of toothpaste.
But by the way, before they stab Mr. Clean with AIDS, they have this like biblical slam poetry rap battle in prison before he's like, oh, you're gonna get resurrected? You think you're Lazarus? Hazardous? You already said that one. Damn it. All right. You went, fuck. All right, you stab me. You can stab
There's
me.
vomit on his sweater already.
What the fuck was any of that?
Mom spaghetti.
And then Baldwin tells Mike right before he's going to die, don't worry, Julie and your son are protected by Nazis from now on. So nothing for you to worry about. It's going to be
this
fine.
Prison skinhead gang looks out for its own, except for literally that guy we just stabbed.
Yeah,
I want a flash montage of like little Arthur getting bullied at school and some skinhead comes over and shivs the kid who's doing it.
Yeah, right. I know.
Don't worry, kid, you're being watched for. Brother Tyler says hello. McQuaid says hello. I don't know who you are. Don't worry about it. Someone raped your mom.
It's a long story.
It's a long story.
So now we cut to Julie, and she's reading a letter from Rape Daddy that basically says, "Dear Julie, I died because we had to tie this movie together somehow."
And the letter is I just want to point this out. The letter is 4 pages long, and each page is a sentence.
Yes.
He's like, "Dear Julie, turn the page. I am dead now, turn the page."
Hold on, I ran out of ink. He goes through like 4 pages.
I wanted to, while they were reading the letter, just to play sad trombones. Like, the whole time, like, wah, wah.
And she has this moment with her mom where she's like, "That's a nice letter from my rapist, right? That's nice."
Also, the movie kind of cuts to black at that point, too, like in the middle of the letter, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, because then it comes back up on literally the iDVD credits.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I was right there with you. I fucking made iDVD credits
when
before.
my dad died, I made like a montage thing, and it was the exact same format of the credits of this movie.
Yeah. When my cat died, I did the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, here's the thing, Cecil. I saw the movie after your cat died. Much more compelling than this one.
Right. Well, there's no pro-rape in that
I'm allergic to cats.
This movie was Birth of a Nation with rape. That's what we just watched.
It is the Christian, it is sort of like a fucking Christian rights wet dream though, right?
Oh,
like fucking the rape baby dodges the coat hanger.
Yeah.
You know, and fucking God forgives him.
Yeah. Goes into a 3D
he moves as fast as they do.
The guy goes to jail and gets shanked too, right? Like, I mean, like fucking like there's vengeance, like it's vengeance galore throughout the whole movie. The guy writes a letter at the fucking end. We're like, fucking Jesus really loves me though.
Yeah. He's like, I didn't do too well in prison. My starfish has been raw for about 3 months.
All they needed was Cecil to be resurrected from the dead.
Right.
He comes back white.
Yeah. They used to call me Cecil the Black, but now So fighting a Balrog, I love it. So
I got a smaller cock. How did that happen? What the fuck?
But I have more money. I've got 401k now.
Oh,
It's
no.
worth the trade-off.
back
So,
with good
Cabs,
credit.
I'm getting mortgages left and right. Awesome.
all right, so I hesitate to ask, but what was the moral of this story?
Oh my God. What
Dude,
the fuck?
I thought about this. This is some fucking Thomas the Tank Engine confusing morals. Like, you watch it, you're just like, I don't know.
Is there a lot of rape apology in Thomas the Tank Engine?
I gotta watch that cartoon.
No, Eli, but there is a lot of white supremacy.
Oh, okay.
What's going on, brother Thomas? I notice you have some impure people on your caboose.
I got to kill the caboose here.
Because here's the thing, like, I watched this and I'm thinking, like the whole time, like, even during the montage where she finds Jesus, I'm like, she could have slept through the night just fine if she'd aborted that baby.
Yeah.
Like, the moral of the story to me is like, well, if fucking ever get raped, abort the baby because your life would have been way better.
Get an abortion.
Right.
Get an abortion.
I think we're just gonna get pregnant here just to have an abortion because it seems like it makes your life better generally.
This is the most pro-choice movie I've ever seen.
I think the moral of the story actually might be that Jesus was the first child of rape, so maybe that's a good thing.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Maybe,
Exactly,
that's not so bad.
Cecil.
Pro-rape babies. Yeah, exactly.
I think the moral is the Christian right narrative, though. It's that you shouldn't abort
No
a
matter
baby.
what.
You
Yeah.
shouldn't abort a baby, but it's perfectly fine for someone to die in a horrible way at any point, especially if they deserve it.
Three murders
exactly.
are inconsequential as long as you don't kill.
Adult murders are totally fine.
Right.
Meaning
Right.
Baby murders totally bad.
As long as you don't take a pill so you can poop out that cum in you.
Yeah, definitely an every sperm is sacred kind of theme underlying this entire fucking movie. Brutal. Now, as you guys might know, we don't do like thumbs up, thumbs down type ratings on this show because I'm going to be damned if I'm ever going to put something I used to rate this movie into my own asshole. So instead, we opt for rating by analogy. So rather than asking you how many stars you'd give this flick or something like that, I want to transport you to a magical realm where Loving the Bad Man won an Oscar in 2011 in a brand new Oscar category. And then I want to ask you, what was that category? Heath.
Wow. All right. Okay. Well, I want to say best cinematography, but Noah made some decent points about the flaws there. And I don't think there's an award for best first date movie, so that would be it. So,
It's a new category. It's a brand new category. It could be that.
all right.
All right. Cecil.
Well, I think they're going to create a brand new category, and it's how far you can fit the Oscar up a Christian virgin. I think that is. And well, you have to do it. It's non-consensual too.
Right, obviously,
Yeah.
and you have to have C-3PO went at the end. One way
I
or the
volunteer
other.
as tribute.
And she's gonna go visit that Oscar trophy in jail later on.
Volunteers
Yeah.
tribute. Is that what you said?
That's what he
She's
said.
visiting the trophy case. Hey, oh my God, I brought you these cookies.
I brought you this Bible. I can set you on it.
So Eli, brand new Oscar category for this film?
Yes, movie most likely to get you convicted of manslaughter in Indiana.
I think they already have that category, but okay, we'll pretend that's a new one for the sake of the question. And finally, Tom, which category do you think this one is eligible for?
I think this is the best non-consensual score because the music alone felt like being raped.
I think honestly there might have been like best non-consensual actor in there too, because I have a sneaking suspicion a couple of times Stephen Baldwin was just like actually in prison. And
They just had him in it.
We're shooting here anyway. You want to be in a movie? No.
They just had a bunch of chicken wings on fishing lines all around him to keep him in the general area.
I'm trying to leave. I can't leave.
Just a trail of Boston Market chickens leading to the set.
a string of Reese's Pieces.
Oh God, Stephen Baldwin's gonna beat my ass if I ever meet that guy. Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
Really? Climb a set of stairs. You'll be fine.
Yeah, right.
Come here, Steven. Come give it to me. Yeah. You come down here. You come down here.
The thing is I don't think he could ever grab me because he's so greasy. It just slipped right out. It's just like there's no way he could touch me.
You just throw your wallet on the ground and step on the other side. He's like, I can't get over that. I can't get over that.
Steven, what's on your hands? It's not breakfast. It's always breakfast somewhere.
You're lucky it's just on my hands. Well, Tom, Cecil, I gotta say, I really appreciate you being part of the festivities tonight, and I hope that nothing worse than this movie happens to you guys in 2016. So.
Oh, man.
God.
This has been... I just want to say this has been the most fun I've had podcasting in a very long time.
Oh my God.
Thank you for having us on. We really do appreciate it.
I don't ever want you to air this episode. Oh God. Ever. I mean, really, ever.
This is going straight to the deep web. Yeah.
Send it right to Jared.
Yeah, this is just in Jared's hard
This
drive.
episode is why we can never be in politics.
Yeah, right. And right before this episode, you had a chance.
Dog
there,
catcher
man.
was
You
in
had
my
a
grasp,
chance.
motherfucker.
You know what's so fantastic? There's some secular students right now who obviously just heard about the fundraiser who are going to tune into both of our podcasts to be like, wow, how great, these guys raised a bunch of money. Oh my God!
All I have to say,
the
hey,
money
Eli,
back.
all I have to say to those secular students is prepare your anus.
That's right. You owe us.
We're getting our 12,000 worth here now, damn it. All right, guys, and very quickly before we let you go, if our listeners want to hear more from you, they haven't checked out your show yet, where should they go?
Dissonancepod.com. You can find all the stuff about us there.
Awesome, which will, of course, be linked on the show notes. Thank you once again.
Thanks for having us, man.
And, well, that does it for our review of Loving the Bad Man. That isn't going to quite do it for the episode just yet, since we still need to get you all wet with anticipation over next week's show. So, Eli, tell us, what's on deck?
Heaven's Door.
Seems like this should be at least a nice change of pace from Loving the Bad Man, in that it is not Loving the Bad Man. I'm actually excited about this one.
I went through the movie list and I was like, we need something fun. Let's get a fun one. I was like, no dead people, no rapes. I just want a nice magical little girl with heavenly healing powers.
Well, it is a dead grandpa kind of at the center of it. But yeah, grandpas are supposed to be dead, so.
Yeah, just looked up the movie Consensual on Google. Movie Consensual.
And this was the only one that came out. So that's what,
yeah, right.
Christian movie Consensual. This is the only one that pops up. It's the only single Google result you can get at this point in history.
Yet another film in the tired little girl gets magical heaven healing powers from her dead grandpa genre, but you know what? Hey, after this week, I'll take it. So I guess with all that to look forward to, we'll bring episode 19 to a merciful close. Once again, a huge thanks to Tom and Cecil for suffering alongside us tonight, and of course, an equally huge thanks to all the Patreon donors that help make the show go. If you'd like to count yourself among their ranks, you can make a per-episode donation at patreon.com/godawful. That's patreon.com/godawful, and thereby earn early access to every episode. You can also help us a ton by leaving us a 5-star review on iTunes and by sharing the show on all your various social media platforms. And if you enjoy the show, be sure to check out our sibling shows, The Scathing Atheist and The Skeptocrat, back after the new year, available on iTunes, Stitcher, and wherever else podcasts live. If you have questions, comments, or cinematic suggestions, you can email godawfulmovies@gmail.com. All the music used in this episode was written and performed by Ryan Slotnick of Evil Giraffes on Mars and was used with permission. If you like what you hear more by following the links on the show notes for this episode. Thanks again for giving us a chunk of your life this week. For Heath Enwright and Eli Bosnick, I'm Noah Lugeons, promising to work hard to earn another chunk next week. Until then, we'll leave you with the Breakfast Club close.
Please don't sue us.
Julie was gang raped during her mission work and now spends her time visiting all 12 of her rapists in rotation.
Joey, Julie's brother, is currently a DJ at Club Stuffhole in the village. He has not been not covered in foam for over a year.
Ed, Julie's dad, kicked his wife out of the house for being murdered and was eventually killed himself in a freak sprinkler accident.
McQuaid eventually covered himself in the number 8 so thoroughly that he confused himself for a black man and stabbed himself to death in prison.
No.
You bring your phone everywhere. Work, school, the movies. Now you can bring it to an Xfinity store for an easy way to switch to Xfinity Mobile, a new kind of network designed to save you money. You can get up to 5 lines of talk and text included with Xfinity Internet at no extra cost, so all you pay for is data. It's never been easier to switch to Xfinity Mobile and keep the phone you love. Click here to see how. Sorry, I gotta take this. Restrictions apply. Limited to select mobile phones. Requires activation of a new line of Xfinity Mobile. Up to 5 devices per account. New Xfinity Internet customers limited to up to 2 lines pending activation of Internet service.